Glad you could join us. We are with Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a food and wine sommelier of the year. The group includes the Sovereign in Georgetown, Iron Gate in DuPont Circle, and of course in Old Town, you've got Columbia Firehouse and Vermilion. Greg, it is always good to see you.
Brennan?
What is on tap this week?
So this week we are going back to a brewery that I love, and we've been doing a few beers from them recently because they just keep coming out with great stuff. And
Stop that.
Blackberry Farm brewery down in Tennessee,
Yeah.
9,000 acres. And they got this little beautiful brewery tucked into the hills there. But the beers they make are phenomenal, and now they've kind of established themselves with some really great standard saisons, and they have a great brune and a blonde, and now they're really starting to release a lot of the beers they've been working on with barrel aging and Brettanomyces for funk and lots of fruit. So this is the Brett Fruit Blend. It's a part of the barrel series, and what we have is a golden saison that's been aged in French oak red wine barrels, and along with Brettanomyces that will dry the beer out, give it some funky, earthy, barnyardy characteristics, and then finished with blackberries. And what's great is, well, first off, it's blackberries. Blackberries are a very delicately colored fruit, so it's not going to overwhelm and make the beer look black or purple in color. But what I love about this beer is it has all that stuff going on, but when you taste it, nothing is overwhelming. You're not going to be like, oh, it's Brett Funk. Oh, it's really wine-like. Oh, it's super blackberry-esque. Everything is in its own place. It's very nuanced and really well done.
Mm. That is really good.
Nice and effervescent.
It's really
good dryness.
Not too tart.
Nope.
It's
a hint of acidity. It's really delicious.
Well, I get a little apple
good stuff.
on the end too.
Yep, appley.
Does that make sense?
6.3% alcohol, so it's not going to crush you. And yeah, I mean, just a fantastic offering.
You know, before we go, we're well into February now, and this is a tough question to answer shortly, but we're at the start of 2017. You see any trends ahead in the craft beer world? I mean, we've had pretty steady growth. Seems like it's tapered a bit in the past couple of years.
I think you're seeing what we're seeing definitely locally, and I think nationwide, is brew pubs and production breweries that sell beer on site, whether it's at a tasting room or beer to go, are thriving, and they're going to continue to thrive. People never tire of visiting and drinking at the source. And so, like Blue Jacket, it's just, no matter how many craft beer drinkers love to come through Church Key and the Sovereign and stuff, people love to drink beer where it's made.
Yeah, and, they say, oh, that came from there, and now it's here.
Yeah, not even just drink it there. The growler mentality, but a lot of people now are doing like cans to go or bottles to go. So, to not just, you go to the place where it's made, you drink, you have some lunch, and then you buy some beer to go. And you're seeing this more and more, specifically in, well, not just in urban areas, rural areas too, suburban areas. And I think and that's just so you always know, the beer has been well taken care of. You know that it's as fresh as it needs to be. And because of that, there's kind of a splintering of the market. So in every market, there's going to be your hyper locals that are going to do very well, and then a bunch of regionals and national brewers that are really fighting for very few spots on the shelves and in the bars. And I feel like more and more people are drinking direct, and so it's going to be harder and harder for these bigger brands to maintain their influence. But while I think the local small guys are going to thrive, and anybody's going to always maintain their business in their home market,
Before I forget, what would you pair this with?
Oh yeah, pairing. So,
oysters.
Like we talked about, oysters would be fantastic. And I think that this has like a richness on the palate too up front. It's not like thin or bone dry at all. It's got some fullness, so you could fry those oysters. Like a po' boy would be fantastic. But I love this beer because of that just mild acidity you talked about and some of that fruit character. I love this with barbecue. I've been eating this like pulled pork and baked beans. It is phenomenal with that. Kind of brings like not a vinegary quality, but just a hint of acid to really brighten it up. It's great with like sausages and steaks and ribs. And then the other thing that I love with this too is I made like a grilled ham and cheese sandwich.
Oh yeah.
and it just like diced, especially with some like brie cheese, like creamy, sweet, triple cream. Awesome pairing.
Okay, time for lunch. Greg, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Everyone, please always do be sure to drink responsibly, and also be sure to bring your thirst next time for another Beer of the Week.